What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to The Order. As we head into the launch of Marvel's Midnight Suns, there's a few big questions left to explore, and I want to get into some of them in this video. There's a lot to look forward to with the game's release, with hundreds of hours of gameplay in front of us, but what about post-launch and beyond? Let's get into all of it. But before we get started, you know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Midnight Suns content and coverage. I'll be posting new videos every week through the game's launch, and I'll be live over on Twitch with gameplay, discussions, giveaways, and more. Again, you definitely want to follow me over there for all the action. It's going to be awesome, and I'll be sharing a lot of that playthrough right here on YouTube as well. Alright, so the first big question I want to get into is, when will the game be released on last-gen consoles? I've had a couple of people ask this in the comments already, and to this point, we haven't received an exact answer from the team on when we can expect the game to be launched on PS4, Xbox One, or the Switch. If you're wondering, yes, over on the game's FAQ page, it states that launch timing for these versions of the game will be confirmed at a later date. So as far as we know, last-gen versions of these games are still on track to be released. Honestly, this has been a brutal year for fans of superhero games who own last-gen consoles. We already saw Gotham Knights completely bypass a last-gen release in favor of ensuring proper optimization for the current-gen consoles, although whether or not they actually achieved that is certainly up for debate. It was 3 months before the release of Gotham Knights that we heard news of its last-gen versions being cancelled, so it seems unlikely that will happen with Midnight Suns at this point, but we're very much in a wait-and-see pattern when it comes to a release on the previous gen platforms. And what also remains to be seen is whether or not the Switch version will be an actual physical release, or will it follow the pattern of another Marvel game, 2021's Guardians of the Galaxy, and go with a cloud streaming release format. Time will tell, but hopefully we get some clarity and some news on these releases soon. Next up, let's talk about the game's DLC and future content. We already have a pretty good idea of what this is going to look like, thanks to a trailer released previously announcing what the game's season pass will entail. We know 4 new characters are on the way: Venom, Morbius, Storm, and Deadpool, with the Merc with a Mouth being the first new character added. The big question is, when can we expect these DLC releases to drop, and more importantly, how robust will they be? As for the first part of that question, all we know is that Deadpool's DLC pack is expected sometime in early 2023, with my best guess being released somewhere before the end of February, roughly a month or two after release. For context, a previous title from Firaxis Games, XCOM 2, had a plethora of DLC releases, the first of which, Anarchy's Children, dropping exactly a month and a half after launch. So again, I'd expect anywhere from the end of January 2023 through February to be about where we see Deadpool. And as for what we will see in those DLC packs besides the characters, the developers have stated that new DLC content will not only include those new characters, but also new enemies, new missions, cosmetics, and more. So yeah, pretty robust. And as of this video, we don't have an exact roadmap for when we can expect to see each DLC drop, but I'm sure we'll be seeing a steady stream of new updates throughout 2023 and hopefully beyond. Lastly, here's a fun question. Will there be a sequel to Midnight Suns? Obviously, the game's sales and reception will play a large part in determining the answer to this question, but it's something worth pondering. Could this game be the start of a full-on Midnight Suns franchise? We know how vast the Marvel Universe is, and the team at Firaxis Games are no strangers to developing sequels, having overseen multiple entries in both the XCOM and Civilization franchises. With a unique combat system in place that can certainly evolve with future releases, and a literal multiverse of possible characters and stories to mine from, who's to say Midnight Suns is a one-and-done title? We could be looking at the start of something much, much bigger in the way that Marvel's Ultimate Alliance grew into a full-blown trilogy of games across multiple generations of platforms. Fingers crossed on this one, but honestly, I would really love to see it happen. Hopefully we get some answers to these questions sooner rather than later, but in the meantime, there's plenty to look forward to as you begin your journey in Marvel's Midnight Suns. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit it with a like and let me know in the comments below what characters or events you'd like to see come to Midnight Suns in the future. And don't forget to subscribe to The Order for more Midnight Suns coverage. Till next time, have a good one.